I've ranked every weapon in Black Ops 6 from worst to best, and I did these score streaks. Right now, I'm excited to bring you the tacticals. Welcome to the channel. My name's DeeSimilar. Worst to best lists are my sole opinion. If you happen to disagree, you're welcome to share your own opinions and lists in the comments. Also, please drop a like on the video and consider subscribing to the channel. Any help on the journey to 50,000 subscribers is greatly appreciated. So let's kick things off with the worst tactical at the number 8 spot. This is the Decoy. Now the Decoy is a stickable grenade that will simulate enemy footsteps and gunfire. In an ideal scenario, you could use the Decoy to distract an enemy, get an advantage on them, get a little flank on a player locking down an area, but they rarely make a real difference to your gameplay. The only real benefit you get from these things is they generate 15 assist score, but that also applies to most of the tacticals we're about to cover. Moving on to number 7, I have the Flashbang, a traditional Call of Duty tactical that will blind a player for up to 3 seconds. The effectiveness of the Flashbang scales with the distance from which it lands from a player, and the angle at which the flashbang lands. If the flash lands behind an enemy, it will have no effect at all, even though you will get a hit marker, which means in certain scenarios, you can naturally counter a flashbang with movement alone. I further explain this in my flashbang breakdown video that I have linked in the description for you to check out, but this results in a lot of frustration because you never truly know to what extent an enemy is disoriented. Now, don't get me wrong, the flashbang can have an impact, but they're very hit or miss, and there are better options for your tactical slot. A slightly better option would be the Concussion grenade, coming in at the number 6 spot. This is similar to the flashbang, but instead of flashing, it will slow directional movement for 2 seconds. The Concussion also significantly slows rotational movement for 1 second. Now, unlike the flashbang, the Concussion has a consistent strength as long as it lands within 6 meters of the enemy, and because of this, I find the Concussion to be a bit more reliable because I know if I get a hit marker, the enemy is going to be affected, but the window of opportunity with the Concussion is so short. You really only have 1 second to make a play on an enemy. What elevates the Concussion above the flashbang for me is that Tac Mask only negates the rotational movement stun, but your directional movement is still slowed, which makes the Concussion very good for melee playstyles, but outside of that, I think there are more effective options out there. That brings us to number 5, the first tactical in this list that I find useful and will use on an everyday basis. Some may call these tacticals everyday essentials, which is what this video's sponsor, Into the AM, specializes in. Into the AM makes jeans now. They got the basic tees, the graphic tees, the hoodies, the flannels, the jackets, the joggers, and now they're adding to their arsenal with their legacy stretch denim jeans. They fit similar to a slim straight jean and have all the features you'd expect. You got the 2 pockets in the front, 2 pockets in the back, they got the mini pocket, and they even have 2 inseam options, a regular one and a tall one, so you can get the best fit out of them. They're made of a soft 4-way stretch fabric and are very comfortable, whether you're standing or sitting. I mean, like you could run, you could probably work out in these things. You got black, dark gray, medium indigo, and dark indigo, which are what I have on now. And if you'd like to pick yourself up a pair, you can check out the link down below. It'll automatically apply my code D at checkout and save you 10% off. That goes for any order. I love working with Into the AM. I absolutely love their clothes. I love that they have jeans now, and it's likely you'll love them too. So go and check Into the AM out. Let's get back to it. So at number 5, we have the smoke grenade. This is very basic. It's a throwable smoke screen. Against players, it's effective for about 10 seconds, and you can use it as like portable cover to cut off lines of sight, to navigate choke points, get away from spawn traps, get out of a sticky gunfight. They're very versatile, and they have a bunch of different use cases, but I find them most useful against score streaks. The smoke counters auto-targeting score streaks like the Sentry Gun and the Overwatch Helo. Smokes will render score streaks like this ineffective for about 15 seconds, allowing you to navigate across the map or to simply destroy the score streak without having to use the cold-blooded perk. The smoke isn't a tactical that I use on every class or every game, but it's definitely on my anti-score streak class that I will pull out when needed. At number 4, we have the Spy Cam, and man, I never touched this tactical until a good like 2.5 months into Black Ops 6, and I am so mad I didn't try it earlier because the Spy Cam is amazing. The Spy Cam highlights the enemy's entire body for a full 3 seconds. You get 2 spy cams per spawn, and the cool thing is the spy cam isn't consumed until you tag someone. So what I like to do is kind of quick scope with the spy cam and just tag enemies for an advantage and then play accordingly. And what's even better is when I do this, the spy cam often will tag things that I can't see. Sometimes it just pings someone behind the wall, which is why I kind of think these are free wall hacks. You also get 50 score for marking an enemy, you get 10 score for finishing the enemy yourself, and a 15 score if you get an assist. And on top of all of that, there's a zoom toggle for the spy cam, which isn't really useful, but it is there. But there also is a thermal setting, which will help you identify targets easier, but also acts as a pseudo tracker perk. If you have not tried the spy cam, you definitely need to give it a shot. I love this thing, and while it's at the number 4 spot, these top 4 tacticals in this video are pretty close to each other in terms of usefulness, and I like each of them for their different reasons. Moving on to number 3, I have the Prox Alarm. These are motion sensors that you can stick to any surface, and they trigger if an enemy is within 7 meters of the alarm. The Prox Alarm does not ping enemies, but it does give an audible alarm and yellow indicator on the minimap for you and your entire team. I find these little things to be very useful for intel and map control. Just knowing where enemies are and are not are very useful pieces of information that can give you a leg up in your gameplay. If anything, the Prox Alarms are fantastic for spawn information because we all know how flippy the spawns can be in this game. If you throw the Prox Alarm in a clever spot and say like a Nuketown spawn, you instantly know when spawns flip and will never be caught off guard again. Second best at the number 2 spot is the Shock Charge. Now, unlike the Flash and Concussion, the Shock Charges significantly disrupt player movement and gives you an actual advantage in a gunfight. There's no guess and check like with the Concussions or the Flashbangs. Like if someone is Shock Charged, they're not moving for a specific amount of time. Another cool thing about shock charges is that they do not affect you, unlike the traditional tactical grenades. So you can use shock charges aggressively and throw them at an enemy that's point blank at you, and you don't have to worry about self-stunning yourself. On the flip side, you can set shock charges. They stick to any surface, so you can put them on the ground, the wall, the ceiling, whatever, and you can use them defensively as sort of an alarm or for map control. The only counter to the shock charges is the shadow perk, which isn't a super popular perk, but just on a everyday game-to-game basis, the shock charges are way more impactful, and 9 times out of 10, I'm rocking these over the Flash and Concussion. That brings us to the number 1 best tactical in Black Ops 6, but a quick reminder, if you haven't dropped a like on this video, please do so, and consider subscribing to the channel. But number 1 shouldn't be too much of a surprise. I see a lot of people using these things, and these things are the Stim Shots. These are the best tactical in Black Ops 6. They're very simple. They will instantly recover health on use, and it also instantly refreshes attack sprint on use. And this is also the only tactical that recharges over time without the Quartermaster perk. Again, very simple, but health is a big factor in Call of Duty, and it's easily the most versatile tactical. They make a very clear impact to your gameplay, and Stim Shots arguably swing a gunfight more than the 7 other tacticals do. But hey, that's just my opinion. Let me know what y'all think. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed to the channel, and you must like the video. It's mandatory because you watch the video all the way through. Thank you, NDDM, for sponsoring this video. Make sure you go check out that link down below, and thank you so much for watching this video. My name's DeeSimilar, and I'll catch y'all on the next one.